Felix Roemer has established a clear trajectory within business and leadership, which has manifested as a truly multi-layered understanding of markets, data, and people. At 30 years of age, Felix Roemer is known not only for his ability to allocate capital effectively, but also for the ease with which he builds companies and entrepreneurs from scratch. His path from teenage recursively revisiting in-game economies to the intended company founder and sought-out investor demonstrates how curiosity, perseverance, and strategy can pave the way for success. Long before Felix Roemer attained fame as an entrepreneur and data strategist, he was a teenager exhibiting curiosity and intrigue toward the currency of online gaming economies. While playing RuneScape, he saw the utmost involvement through trading and began to trace valuation in real time. He built software that would document the supply, movement amount, demand, and pricing for individual items. Felix Roemer forged, unknowingly at the time, a movement towards his forthcoming business future lessons of how markets function, how to render decisions with data and information amid complex situations, and manifesting trends when others saw no opportunity. Curiosity guided Felix Roemer to other digital markets, where the style and systems of trading as well as assigning value functioned again with similar dynamics of human behavior and value assignation, turning his analytical view of systems and actors to a deeper interest in entrepreneurship where stakes were far more real, or the same moderate principles. Know the market, produce a supply that meets a demand, and scale the product or service for the market. Felix Roemer has a reputation outside of industry for certainly more than just finding opportunities. He does so effectively and has declared himself an expert on using data to make decisions. In Roemer's early investment career, he developed a model for active investing that was much more than capital allocation. He fully committed himself to and immersed himself in the details and operations of the companies to which he was providing funding. He did not provide capital unless he was working with the founders or entrepreneurial teams to assess, optimize processes, restructure where appropriate, and identify growth opportunities. This is the symbolic distinction he associates with active ownership versus passive. By working with the leaders of the company and their teams and fully committing to the operational aspects and operational optimization, he became a partner in creating value, implicitly or explicitly. In addition to focused engagement with the leadership team, Roemer's investment focus has been in sports, finance, and fintech, and he identified that a component of the investment model he wanted to develop was the ability to select distressed assets and turn them from an unproductive venture into a profitable enterprise. This was used, in part, to leverage very complex datasets and mathematical models against market behavior to develop a set of data that would allow him to identify inefficient things about the market. From the analysis, modeling, and execution, he would often restructure companies or help scale businesses in a more efficient way that would help mitigate wasted capital and unnecessary risks. Leadership is the area of Roemer's asset class, investment, and entrepreneurship that has differed the most since he began. He started early on trying to control everything in his entrepreneurial journey. His experiences showed him dramatic differences in the way he approaches leadership today. Currently, Roemer is focused on clarity of vision and direction, trust as an implicit agreement between himself and others, and surrounding himself with people who know their own area of expertise or operational area, and to allow the experts to operate. Roemer believes it is the prerogative of leaders to set the direction, enable conditions conducive to development, remove roadblocks, for example, and lead by example. Roemer delineates that micromanaging inhibits the development of creativity and efficiency. Roemer is also quick to share the importance of and value in humility and learning. Entrepreneurship, in his opinion, is less about having a grand vision and more about solving real issues and creating systems that will exist beyond the individuals who built them. He commonly has aspiring entrepreneurs focus on learning faster than everyone else. Develop small-scale solutions and only grow with people who believe in what they are doing. Felix Roemer's career has been defined by more than just short-term wins. The ultimate goal he has is to build companies that outlive their founders and lead to lasting impact rather than chasing temporary trends. One of his key philosophies is that he honestly should only pursue things where he genuinely believes that he could enhance the efficiency of the system, or increase the value of the product, and where there is no opportunity to drive value, he moves on. This reasoning has led him to ventures in different industries where the decision was made because either there was an opportunity, or it was more closely aligned with his principles. His work at Short Circuit Science is a perfect example. This company is specifically built to apply AI and computer vision to improve the performance and recovery of athletes, with a primary focus on professional soccer. Although this goal is fairly ambitious, Felix's access and vision to structure important data points, along with building relevance to the outputs from the data for athletes and coaches, was a great way to integrate his analytical background into work, no matter who was interpreting the data. There are always challenges from the start, and Felix is honest about what he faced at the start. Long hours, frequent experimentation, and recurring instances of doubt. Working with no established network or credentials, Roemer simply leaned into curiosity, confidence, and courage until it finally all came together. Even as he speaks today, Roemer acknowledges the challenging and competitive nature of being an entrepreneur. The only difference is his experience gives him frameworks, a clarity in where to direct his energy, and a set of trusted collaborators, working towards the same goal of building valuable, long-lasting businesses. Roemer's advice for those getting started in entrepreneurship is grounded and sensible. Be curious and humble. Make small things first to validate ideas before you scale. Surround yourself with people who you can learn from, and with whom you can learn and grow. Most importantly, focus on solving real problems in a way that creates perpetual value rather than chasing short-term wins or buzzwords. One can clearly see how Roemer has progressed from some guy who, as a curious teenager, mapped out virtual marketplaces, to a properly fledged entrepreneur and investor who understands that finding success in entrepreneurship is a discipline that builds from clarity, perseverance, and sustained deliverables. Felix Roemer wants to continue to develop his work on the intersection of data, artificial intelligence, and scalable enterprises that create value for a wider audience. Roemer's vision is to build sustainable ventures that work efficiently, create value, and outlive their founders. He is particularly interested in helping to support the next generation of entrepreneurs by sharing the lessons he has learned from experience in areas such as market research, leadership, and resilience. With continuous and rapid change in industries shaped by technological advancements, Roemer sees crowds of opportunities and is seized with the prospect of examining more complex systems with a data-based approach. Although there is a predictable cycle, his priority continues to be understanding how things work, identifying areas of improvement, and assembling strong teams to implement those changes. Felix Roemer's pathway to entrepreneurship is not about gaining notoriety or fast cash. It embodies curiosity, data, and the belief that leadership is about having a direction, understanding how to support, and doing everything that can be done for real, equitable, and profitable growth. His journey has taught him that entrepreneurship is never linear. Entrepreneurship emerges from the unique commitment, persistence, adaptability, and upbeat and resourceful disposition that flows from recognizing failure and celebrating success. Amidst the noise of the business landscape, Roemer forged a path distinct by simplicity and purpose. His value proposition offers stark lessons for anyone wanting to create companies that matter. Lead with clarity, rely on data, and never forget the human side of entrepreneurship behind every deal. Entrepreneurship has become more than a professional career for Roemer. It's a way of thinking, solving problems to leave systems better than the way he found them.